Here we go. Game time. Press button. Button. Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. We are here with the RedBull Esports Champions League, and we are also here with Royal Love and Invictus Gaming, and you are watching a Beyond the Summit broadcast brought to you by my co-caster Vikermond, as well as myself, Shiver. Vikermond, David vs Goliath, or not so much?
Certainly in some respect. I would say that Royal are one of the stronger second-tier teams. So the way that this tournament worked was you had 4 group stages. So I should say 4 groups, each of 6 teams. The top 2 teams of each group advanced to this LAN final. So that's 8 teams. And then the 4 ace teams got seeded into the LAN final. So IG, LGD, LGD International, and Tongfu were all automatically coming in. And then you have 2 teams including Rattlesnake, Rising Stars, VG, and I'm missing one that sort of came in guaranteed, and then 4 teams that are sort of regarded as Tier 2. Of those 4 teams, I've been most impressed by Royal's play. In the group stages, they actually fought Tongfu to a standstill, and I think they're a good team overall, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're favored against IG, a team that, even in what I think most people have regarded as somewhat questionable form, can still perform very, very commandingly. And they secure a hell of a hero here in the Alchemist that's just being pretty much promoted to first ban, first pick status these days.
Yeah, and Royal Love, they pick themselves up a Shadow Demon. You said it in the previous game. If you pick up a Shadow Demon first pick, you have a plan. Now, Dragon Knight doesn't necessarily have a good synergy with the Shadow Demon, so we're still gonna expect some kind of hero that pairs up really nicely with the Shadow Demon on the side of Royal Love.
Sure.
Of course, IG, they can secure themselves one of those setup supports now as well, or leave them in the pool to get probably banned out like a Rubik. They pick up the Chen, and that means, well, carry role, safe lane, something that IG normally does, safe lane that is, and yeah, giving away a bit of what they're planning on.
Yeah, I would say I'm going to be interested to see if IG... I mean, I like the early Chen, frankly. Chuan plays an excellent Chen. This is a good pickup for them. It's a little earlier than you expect most teams to take Chen, but if you're a team with a strong Chen, frequently teams will ban it out from under you. I'm going to be watching IG's second ban to see if they go for the Leshrac. I think if they can put Leshrac into this lineup, Royal actually has a pretty good start. The Leshrac synchronizes quite well with both the SD and the DK. I do think SD and DK have some synergy. If DK is in ultimate form, for instance, you can sort of use the disruption on him defensively to generate 3 dragons, all of which are fairly strong. So that's an option. 3 Dragon Knights plus a Leshrac can push very well. The Shadow Demon Leshrac combination can stun pretty well. I think this is an option for their second support. IG, however, feeling like interesting, the Queen of Pain. So, frequently we see Dragon Knight go up into the mid and then have a second carry, most usually Weaver, which is why you see IG ban Weaver here. But instead, Royal have done something a little more unexpected, Hanse throwing a tiny bit of a curveball by picking up the Queen of Pain. We'll be seeing this for the second game in a row. And the question now becomes, is this going to be a side lane carry Dragon Knight? Or will it be something like side lane solo Queen of Pain? They'll try to put together some sort of aggressive tri-lane and have the Dragon Knight in the mid still.
Yeah, and I mean, you just mentioned a couple of options, and there's really no way of telling which one they're actually going to be running. And that is ahead, or being ahead for Royal at the moment. I mean, IG, they're going to just have to guess what they're going to have to deal with. I do think that IG, I mean, they have kind of already got their plan. It's like, you know what, them picking up this doesn't really change anything for us. We're going to be having a safe lane Alchemist. We're going to be having a Chen in the jungle. It just will depend on what they are expecting mid of the two. Which one are they going to try to counter? Are they going to try to counter the Dragon Knight or the Queen of Pain? We have still got the Rubik picked up. No surprise there, as I mentioned. They want to have a setup disable. A setup hero. Rubik is a good one for that. And there is a follow-up for the Shadow Demon. It's a Leshrac Split Earth, of course, followed up on the or on the Disruption, rather. And I actually wouldn't mind to see an aggressive tri-lane and then another core picked up. Queen of Pain, safe lane solo, Dragon Knight mid.
Lifestealer, for instance? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very possible from Royal Love. Actually, the gyrocopter is still in the pool
Oh,
as well.
oh.
But IG will secure up the YYF Lifestealer, which I also think is good. And this means that if they want to, for instance, ban gyrocopter now with their 5th ban, that I feel gives them a very strong draft and sort of throws a monkey wrench into what Royal are planning here. So nice draft by IG so far, but I like Royal's lineup too. I think there's a lot to be said for it. Let's recall that yesterday Hansa played an absolutely beastly Leshrac in their game against was it Musi, I think?
I think so.
He started 8-0-4 or something, and then after that he intentionally, I won't say suicided, but he intentionally put himself on the front lines of play so that they had to trade 1 or 2 people for Leshrac every time. It was a commanding performance, and if he can repeat it here,
I like it. Sorry.
yeah, it's a Sand King tri-lane.
Yeah,
or,
but I was gonna say, like, if they pick up another one of the cores, like a Lifestealer or a Jakira, or sorry, Juggernaut would have been, it would be maybe slightly greedy. But this way, they can already be so aggressive early on with the Sand King there. You've got a Sand King Leshrac combination. We know that is already a dual lane, for example, that can make a lot happen. You have a double disable. You've got a Shadow Demon there as well. I think Leshrac is the one to take the farm here. And I really like this. I really like it a lot. We have a puck band out on the side of Royal to make sure that the mid lane is not going to be a complete dominance. But even there, Royal has got a bit of space, like, to see what they're going to go for, Dragon Knight or Queen of Pain. I'm going to expect Dragon Knight mid. But if IG picks up a really strong mid and Royal Love thinks, you know what, our Dragon Knight might not be so sure against that one, they might just rotate and put the Queen of Pain mid. But we are seeing a Windrunner picked up by IG.
And this actually means it's looking like an Alchemist mid. So the Rattlesnake style mid Alch for 430, and then YYF on the Windrunner. These are interesting choices that IG has made. I think they feel that I do like the tri-lane from Royal. I'm just concerned that if it's up against a Lifestealer tri-lane with Chen and Rubik, they won't actually get as much done as they want to, and they're going to struggle to get levels for Sand King. So that's maybe something that Royal need to watch out for. Have they painted themselves a little bit into a corner here? The Queen of Pain lane should be fine, at least. They could even... No, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, and actually it looks like Sand King is the one to take the farm. Leshrac picked up some wards, so he is not going to be the one to take the carry. And you just said that it's important for the Sand King to get levels. Well, now not only will he get levels, he'll also get that Blink Dagger up very fast.
Sure.
So let's see who's playing what. So Hansi, as already mentioned yesterday, had a very good game. Let's see how he does on the Leshrac this game. We are gonna see 5400 playing the Shadow Demon, SN on the Dragon Knight, Saucy playing the Sand King, and Yim last one on the Queen of Pain for the 2nd time this tournament.
Right, and looking up towards IG, they will be going with, okay, so it is 430 on the Lifestealer. So 430 on the Lifestealer looks to be going up into the mid-roll. I mean, as per usual for him. That leaves a tri-lane composed of Faith on the Rubik, Chuan on the Chen, and Zhou on the Alchemist, which leaves YYF in the solo lane, most likely against Queen of Pain, okay, on the Windrunner.
Yeah, I like it. Queen of Pain, Windrunner matchup. We've seen that very often in the past. Should be in favor of the Queen of Pain, for sure, but we'll see how Windrunner does up against her nemesis. As I think we can call her that, like from a year ago. Like, the lanes Queen of Pain, Windrunner were so oftenly done. Look at this fake back. They don't know that, right? Didn't they see him? Let's see what their vision is like. They don't see them.
Yeah. It's Royal, if they can start off by getting a first blood on, for instance, Chuan, that would, I feel, or even Zhou. I mean, if they get him, that would be great. It's gonna be tough though. They're so short range. There's the disruption. That's very nice.
In comes Split Earth. Burst Strike first. There's a Split Earth. Zhao still stuns up, trying to stun up his own stun. Able to land it on double heroes. They will be able to get him though, I think. He's eating his Tango. Here comes a Burrow Strike, and that should be enough. First blood goes the way of the Sand King. Good start coming off for Royal.
The only thing is that they use so much mana for that. That's the thing about this lane, is that it's tremendously mana dependent. At least the Leshrac and the Sand King.
Also, yeah.
Shadow Demon a little bit less so, because Disruption's not that expensive and Soul Catcher is extremely cheap. But Sand King in particular, I mean, he chewed through his entire mana pool there. You can see that he did bring 2 clarities to the lane. Are there more clarities up? Yeah, there's still 1 on the Shadow Demon. So that's what they're going to try to get the sustainability from.
Yeah, and of course, one extra thing, Shadow Demon, he might have, like, the disruption is 1/3 of his mana pool, but it's such a long cooldown that he can't spam it twice out per fight, like, for example, that Sand King Burrow Strike was, who can only basically use it twice, and then indeed, like you saw, and like you said, the mana pool is done for.
The great thing about the First Blood, too, is that it gives Xiaosu the money to buy a quick Boots of Speed. So Tier 1 Boots, fantastic for Sand King, because his stun early on is short range, but this means that they could actually use Xiaosu as the fight starter. If 5400 and Hansa are behind the Creequilibrium position, the Sand King can just run in and stun the Alchemist himself without needing a disruption to set it up all the time. And that's an important tool for them to have. That First Blood is, with it, they have a much better chance of winning this lane than without it.
Yeah, and IG, laying down some pressure, Acid Spray pushing the lane out a little bit as well. Actually quite favorable, so Sand King can get some extra farm here, perhaps. Sand King, who has got himself boots. Of course, with that First Blood money, he can just be a bit selfish, considering he is a carry Sand King. Yes, we have a carry Sand King in the game. In the meantime, in the middle lane, we have Ferrari sitting on 9-5 on last hits. SN not doing too bad either, though, but 6-0. Still a bit behind between Ferrari, and that's actually quite surprising, considering SN should at least be able to get the last hits, even if he's not able to win his lane in terms of getting kills. Neither should the Lifestealer, but with the double damage rune, actually, of course, he is able to harass SN away from the lane here.
Yeah, I mean, Lifestealer, yeah, obviously with the DD rune, but the other thing is that whenever SN approaches, it's a little bit still dangerous. Keep in mind that Ferrari, take a look at his loadout, he's got the Quelling Blade, so the fact is he has good base damage. With the DD rune, it's tremendous, and the Quelling Blade gives him that little bit of extra edge to get those extra denies. It's actually a pretty good pairing against the Dragon Knight. I mean, as Dragon Knight's health pool increases with his 2.8 strength gain, the Lifestealer can just occasionally harass him. Even if Lifestealer gets low, he's got open wounds to heal all the way back up to full. And IG wants to layer on the mid pressure. They're bringing in Smoked Faith and Smoked Chuan with a Centaur Conqueror, and this could be a kill if they set it up right.
Yeah, and that would put the mid lane even more in favor of Ferrari than it already is right now. But let's see if they can get it going, and if they want to tank up the tower for it, because of course the creep wave is kind of pushed out. We see that Ferrari tries to keep it on the high ground, at least that might help them, but the smoke gang people already backing off. In the meantime, Burrow Strike, Zhao will go down. Nice stun though, almost gets a kill on the Sand King with it, but not enough. Deny, he's suicided with the stun, never mind.
He killed himself with the end of the Unstable Concoction, so that doesn't give them anything. That's a very nice self-suicide there.
And he actually got something with it. He gets a salve from the
YYF might kill Yim. No, he didn't quite get him, but YYF is doing very well in this Windrunner versus Queen of Pain lane. 15 for 4 to the 10 for 6. And he hasn't, like, Queen of Pain is continually harassing him, but keep in mind, the lack of a needed bottle in the mid on this Lifestealer means that they can bottle crow to the top. And so YYF is getting as much mana as he wants. Royal aren't in such a lucky position. They do want to use 2 bottles, but they end up with a much slower courier as a result.
Yeah, you can't really do that anymore all too well. Of course, that is a bit of the nerf. Can't really hope to run 2 bottles and, you know, get good uses out of them. In the meantime, Alchemist? Sorry, what were you want to say? Well,
no, nothing important. I think you can still run the bottles, but you kind of have to only deplete them to 1 charge.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not really ideal in the lane for Dragon Knight. He kind of needs all his charges. I mean, that's the way that Dragon Knight works. That's why the nerf maybe hit Dragon Knight a bit more than other mid heroes might have been getting hit. But yeah, on the bottom lane, Zhao has only got 2 last hits. He's getting some experience, and that's nice. But he's not last hitting creeps. The Sand King is sitting on 18-5.
Yeah, it's a very difficult lane for Alchemist. The First Blood, I mean, it means that they can zone him so effectively, because there's always the fear that if you come up to the lane as a melee hero, Sand King just immediately responds by burrow striking you, and you're dead more often than not as a result. Sand King is taking some... Yeah, they are just going to put up a healing salve on him. I wonder if we'll see a repeat of one thing we already saw this tournament with the early phase on Sand King. It's very bad for his mana sustainability, but it puts even more pressure on the Alchemist. It's a little bit of a crazy build, but hey, we already saw it.
Yeah, at the moment it actually looks like he is actually gonna skip the entire upgrade of boots altogether and just go for the Blink Dagger straight away, which would, like you said, I mean, it kind of says that he can't really do anything with his mana.
Right. And honestly, IG, the main good news is just look at that mid matchup. 36 for 15 last hits for Ferrari against 14 for 1 on SN. SN at this point doesn't even feel comfortable approaching at all. And that puts him a level behind 430, even with that one unsuccessful gank that IG did, and just tremendously behind on the farm.
Yeah, he does have boots, but yeah, once he hits level 6, maybe he can get something done, but even then, it at least won't be on Ferrari, right? That's not a target that he should be able to kill off. In the meantime, Windrunner, 30 for 8, doing okay here on this top lane. Queen of Pain has got a bit of help though. Shadow Demon rotated top is 19 for 7, because this Queen of Pain is not winning up against the Lifestealer, oh sorry, the Windrunner of YYF.
Yeah, YYF, a very solid lane phase here. There was actually a moment in which I thought he might even steal a kill, which would be somewhat shocking against Queen of Pain. You shouldn't be able to just get kills like that. So he didn't get it, but he is winning the lane. Queen of Pain requiring sort of the assist from 5400 on the Shadow Demon, pull the lane away. And this is something Royal can do. I actually like it. It'll help Shadow Demon get some XP. It'll also free up space for Sand King and Leshrac to level as well. You can see Zoe doesn't even feel comfortable approaching the lane. He's jungling with Faith.
Yeah, that is quite the step down from trying to farm. And I just want to point out once again, a Sand King Leshrac duo lane on the suicide lane. It's like stepping back in time.
Certainly.
Well, Royal though.
So
I mean, just for a second, Royal's looking good, right, in the lanes apart from the mid lane. And the top. Actually, they're only looking good on the bottom lane, and they're not heroes that will carry their team all too well. And they're actually in quite of trouble right now. They go for Hansi, very long range stun. In comes the TPs, but Hansi already dead. Burrow Strike will hit up on the Chen. In comes the disruption and Queen of Pain as well. He has got a Sonic Wave, but the telekinesis is there first, and that means that everybody off IG gets himself out. The kill goes the way of IG, and yeah, I mean, none of the heroes that can really make a big difference in the mid to late game are actually doing well on the side of Royal.
Yeah, and also, I mean, just look at the levels. Like, sure, you've shut down Alchemist's ability to last hit, but, and I was going to mention this before, because all 3 of your heroes are heroes that, to kill him, they need to close in, they need to walk up to him, it's actually very difficult to push him out of XP range. Because if you try to push him out of XP range, you're basically executing a full dive. So they haven't been able to stop Zoe from getting XP. He's level 6, and all 3 up until a moment ago of the aggressive tri-lane were level 4. That's particularly important for the Sand King. So they didn't get as much as you'd expect, even if they completely shut down his farm. And considering Dragon Knight lost mid and Queen of Pain lost top, it's a situation where Royal are actually generating less and less pressure as we head into the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, their momentum of the lane, of the Sand King Leshrac lane is almost vanishing, and especially now that Hansi actually died once, it's not going to be as nice anymore. And on top of that, who are they going to kill? It would be only the Rubik, because they won't be able to have enough damage to take down the Alchemist. Dragon Knight needs to start showing why he was picked up, because, I mean, of course he had a tough mid lane, but he needs to kind of try and make something happen now that he has a dragon form. Queen of Pain, we already saw her rotating, but in the end that didn't really turn out to amount to anything, and it is kind of needed that she gets herself some presence on the map. It's her deal. What?
Yeah, one of the things they were missing is they didn't. It seemed like they didn't even try to ward the Radiant Jungle, right? So when you don't do that, you don't exert any control over Chuan's Chen, and you don't really stop the Rubik from just setting up a jungle for even more, a little bit of XP and even some last hits for the Alchemist. I feel that if they had added on more of a concerted warding approach, they would have been in much better shape to actually lock Alchemist out of the game completely and preserve their advantage, but they just didn't do it. And so, in the absence of that, you know, the question becomes, do we continue pressuring this lane, or do we start roaming and trying to reverse the position in the mid and top? Mid is already basically written off. Like, there is almost no way that Royal can kill Ferrari.
Yep. They just have to hope, like, if he uses Rage, there should be a Demonic Purge, and then waiting until the Rage is off, then Dragon Tail him and just disable him so he can't attack. But it does mean that you have 4 heroes using their disable to take down 1 hero, in return, and that means that an alchemist is going to be walking around, and even though he's not as farmed as you might want him to be, he's still going to be quite annoying to deal with. You're going to have shackles to deal with, telekinesis, hand of God, even if you are able to get the lifesteal low enough. The Rubik is going to be there to steal everything that you throw at this, like, at the lifestealer, so disables are going to be turned around, and Royal is having, like, a lineup that doesn't really allow for getting too much behind in the laning stage.
Maybe
nice
Ultras,
splitters,
but
nah, he's way
after
too
chemical.
tanky. Way
Yeah.
too tanky.
It's the chemical rage alone is going to heal up all the harassment damage they just did to him at great cost. They finished the blink for the Sand King at a good time.
Yeah, they go again here up on Zao. Edict this time as well. Maybe they can get him down. He's actually taking quite a bit of damage. He's charging up a stun. Everybody tries to dodge the stun, which is nice. There is no burst hike, and that is gonna be a nice way of dealing with an alchemist. Make him stun himself, and then kill him off.
Did you see what he tried to do though?
No?
He intentionally walked into the sandstorm to
try
bring
and kill
himself low
himself.
enough.
Yeah. Oh.
That's so legit. I'm so sad that that didn't work out.
Wow. Well, it's close though. It was really close.
They're gonna
Whoa.
get Shadow Demon.
Yep, nice power shot. Nice Sonic Wave as well though, and a Scream. And that's a Breath of Fire to pick off the Rubik. Can they get more is the question. Yim looking for a Shadow Strike, gets it on the Chen. Power shot, send Hansi on his way. Nice stun coming off from SN. Split Earth coming off from the Rubik. Or from the, no, that was just one from the Shrek, never mind. Dragon Tail, Zao. Nice power shot again, but Zao, he should be running. YYF trying to do what he can. Provide a safe exit. Yim getting stunned up, will end up going down, and that's gonna be Sandkin coming in. Able to pick up the kill on the Chen. Now Ferrari, open wounds. Disruption will keep the Lestrak safe for a little while longer, but he'll still end up going down by the infest out from Ferrari. And IG just taking quite a couple of kills here on the top lane. They do lose a few of their heroes as well, but in the end I think IG got the better trade of that one.
I think IG definitely got the better end of the trade. Queen of Pain Death, probably not necessary. Another issue they're having is Xiaosu's only mana regen is the wand, and he doesn't have those arcane boots. So even when he gets a good blink burrow strike, he can't follow it up with the epicenter. He can't epicenter beforehand, because if he epicenters beforehand, like look at his mana pool right now, he has 250 out of 377. If he were to epicenter right now, he can blink afterwards but not burrow strike, or he can burrow strike but not blink. In fact, he actually cannot cast the burrow strike even if he doesn't blink.
Yeah, it's pretty tough for a mana drained Sand King, and I mean he needs those stick charges, otherwise he can't do anything, but better yet, he needs mana boots to be able to be a very big factor in those fights, because those burrow strikes are very strong. You might not be able to hit the lifestealer with it all the time, but getting 2 or 3 man burrow strikes is like having a mini Ravage every single time.
Yeah. Royal, they're struggling to transition their early pressure into any meaningful advantage, and one of the big problems was those solo lanes. YYF now a level ahead of his lane opponent. Ferrari, he's 3 levels ahead of Royal's Dragon Knight, and quite a bit more farmed with his armlet complete, phase boots. You've got a Dragon Knight that's still sitting on part of power treads.
Hey, I want to point out, you are on Reddit, right?
I've been on Reddit,
A
yeah.
while ago, there was a thread about IG saying, IG doesn't have flags, so I made one for them, what do you think?
Yeah, they're using
They're
that, I
using
think.
it! Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that yet, that's cool.
It's really cool, yeah. They're definitely a fan-responsive team, which is quite cool.
Yeah, so just want to point that out. Shout out to the guy that made those flags.
For sure. They look really snazzy,
They do.
honestly. It looks extremely professional.
Yeah, like them too. Okay, sorry. That was a bit of a sidestep from the cast. But
I mean, the story of this game for me is an unshut down mid-life stealer who's now 94 for 27 at 13 minutes. Like, he is tremendously large. And Royal, they have a lineup that does basically nothing to a life stealer who's raging at them with good farm. And Leshrac almost going down to Zoe in the bottom lane here.
no. It's able to TP out at least. Yeah, and the one thing that, I mean, that Royal can do against a lifestealer in his rage is actually Demonic Purging. But they can only do that if Shadow Demon was actually level 6. And he is not. He is close by. But still, right now, I mean, level 5 Shadow Demon and Lifestealer is level 11. That's quite painful. Hey, remember yesterday when I said that you shouldn't really put a lifestealer in a Chen creep because a Chen creep would die?
I don't remember that, but sure.
Maybe it wasn't against you. But anyways, he did that and he infests out SN. Is in
SN's
trouble.
gonna die again.
In comes
And they
the
get the courier.
Yeah, nicely done. And they'll get the Dragon Knight as well. Hand of God will be there keeping faith up. And that's gonna be and a courier and a Dragon Knight. And a Royal not able to fight in the meantime. Bottom lane, yeah. He's trying to run himself away, but yeah, that's gonna be an epicenter helping out. And in the end, Shadow Demon taking the kill, meaning he's level 6 right now. And they might be able to get a tower. They won't be able to defend their top tower though. They'll lose their tier 2.
Yeah, this is still basically an alchemist that has nothing, but this is when it comes in handy that you at least went dual core, because the lifestealer can fill in a lot of work for the Alk. Alk can just be a walking stun, and you can still win this game.
Yeah.
Actually, 430 comes bottom.
Yeah, and he opens up on Hansi, but he actually decides not to go. His teammates taking a long time to TP towards the bottom lane, so doesn't really want to really walk in there without knowing for a fact. Oh, disruption. Nah, it's just gonna keep people safe. Ferrari. Oh, he is so on the hunt. He has got face boots as well. I think this is one dead. Never mind. Burrow strike. Here comes the Sonic Wave. YYF will end up going down. Nice stun from Alchemist up on the Queen of Pain, taking a ton of damage, and will end up going down. But as is Ferrari. And that's going to be putting it on a 2-2. Another Burrow strike comes out. Up on Faith. Royal seem to be taking this match. Seem to get this fight at least. Although Zhao got himself a double kill, and that is only the Dragon Knight left alive for his team. All of a sudden, 3 for 4. Royal, running for his life, has got a Dragon Tail. Chuan chasing him down, but they're not going to be able to catch him anymore. I really thought that Royal was having that, but Zhao actually doing a lot more than I thought he would.
Well, 4 for 3 when you kill a lifestealer who's at that during that fight 3 levels above you is not the worst trade in the world. I think that really comes down. That fight could have been a lot worse, except for several fantastic burrow strikes from Xiao on the Sand King. Those were really, really good, especially the first burrow strike through, I think, Chuan and hitting Ferrari with the edge of it. That really was just excellent. Kept the Shadow Demon alive much longer. So, well played to Royal. A good fight overall, but not a convincing victory, I agree.
No, and with that, I mean, IG, they already took all the towers on the top lane. Let's see if they can do the same thing on the bottom lane. We do have a couple of defense heroes coming in though. Not quite sure how much they can do. Standing in acid spray still kind of hurts to the supports. We see SN being comfortable in doing it, but he has to be careful. Shackle doesn't latch, lucky for him. 430, looking for a pickup. Burrow strike epicenter in the meantime on the back end, but the Hand of God already went through. Faith will be sent home, and that's the only result that Zhao Su gets from this. And that's not really something that you want to have happen if you use your big Link epicenter combination. Nice sandstorm to escape the life sealer, but
well, to be fair, I guess to give him the credit, the epicenter doesn't get any kills, but what it does do is put IG in a sufficiently difficult position that they have to peel everybody out of the fight. So, for instance, Lifestealer and Alchemist were probably about to kill Shadow Demon, possibly Leshrac, and instead, with the Burrow Strike in the backfield, they have to pull back and clump up again. They can't leave the fight split up. So it was a decent positional advantage, even if it got no kills.
I guess in that sense, you would call it more like the best defense is a good offense kind of thing. At least now they won't attack. They will also get a tier 1 tower, perhaps. Here comes YYF though. Gets stunned up first. In comes O. Nice Sonic Wave, but SN is already dead. Looking for the next target. Disruption gonna be there upon Zo. Will not be able to chase any more Hansi. Running for his life. The tower still ended up going down. Went to the Leshrac. In comes the Sand King with the Burrow Strike. Might try to chase down YYF, but Shackle holds him in place. And he will get stunned, and he will go down. Zo with another pickoff, and that is gonna be 3 dead on Royal. And all they got was a tier 1 tower. And Faith will be sent back home for the second time.
Dragon Knight rushing in, not even switching treads to strength, and just getting... What's Dragon Knight going to do here with so much less farm than Lifestealer charging into a Lifestealer? I don't know. When you lose the DK that early, you don't even get the benefit of a single Dragon Tail. It's not a fight you can hope to take, and they're not a team that can really run away. Queen of Pain can to some extent, but certainly Shadow Demon and Leshrac, except with, preternaturally perfect splitters, are not going to be able to escape from a committed fight like that. Royal lose a fight that, frankly, they can ill afford to lose.
Yeah, and I mean, the highest net worth on Royal is actually the Sand King, And you're talking about the Queen of Pain, and she's of course the mid-game hero that is supposed to be able to do something. Ooh, there goes a stun. Yim, he will die. I mean, his net worth is less than that of Chuan's Chen. And there's gonna be Rubik dead as well. Dragon Knight able to pick him up in the mid lane actually. Yes, to SN. Looking for a grave. Ferrari continuing on. But we'll be able to send on his way.
IG happy with that once again. Split up when you have the net worth advantage across almost every hero, splitting the fights is great for you because you can leverage that farm advantage in each of the sub fights, right? It's kind of a academic point, but the Lifestealer can take 2 heroes. He can't take 5 heroes focusing on him. So Royal's best bet is to get a really good 5-man clash, right? A 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3 fight is very difficult for them to win. Faith also, even though he gave his life in that fight, actually prevented Royal from being able to deny the tier 1 mid. And Ferrari now, he adds the Sanjin Yasha. That'll make him very fast. He's able to chase the Dragon Knight almost to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, race car build without drums. But still pretty fast indeed. And yeah, I mean, IG, they're just getting so far ahead. We're 12k gold in favor of IG at the moment. Experience graph after the last fight. Not looking too different, going the way of the 10k. And Royal, I mean, they don't really have that late game that can save them. Hey. Ferrari might actually go down though. Nice Split Earth helping out as well. But he turns on his rage and he tries to open up on SN. Infest out. Will be able to stay alive for a little while longer. As we see the Rubik running, gets burrow striked, and will end up going down. That's it. Or disrupted, but will still go down.
Yeah, if they had gotten 430 there, that would have been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, they don't pick up 430. He manages to bring himself out of the fight.
Yeah, I think he got sent home by the Chen.
Yeah, he got Test of Faith back.
Because I thought he was actually infesting on something, but no.
No, he got Chen. Yeah. It was difficult to see because there were so many effects, but we have a fight.
Yep. Royal, nice double stun coming up from Zoe. And that's going to be 1 dead. Hansi running, stick to the juiced. But never mind that. He goes down. Nice burrow strike, but is it going to be enough? Burrow strike also stolen, I think, by Faith. Yes. One of the best spells to steal. Open wounds. This time, no way out. And that's going to be him dead. Sentry Ward even gets placed, but multi-kill for a hero needs, man. Congrats to him. But 3 kills on the board for IG. And I mean, constantly Royal looks for these engagements. They're actually just like willingly going into them, but they just can't make it happen. They don't have the advantage.
Yim.
That's gonna be Yim walking into his doom as well, or should I say blinking into his doom. Tier 2 tower will go down. Ferrari with extra gold because he needs more gold apparently. But no more outer towers apart from the 1 tower on the bottom lane, the tier 2. And I think that IG is gonna be killing that one off as well.
I feel that Royal have, not only are they having issues strategically because they had an early advantage and IG was able to bring it completely back. I mean, early advantage in the tri-lane, not in the solo lanes. And IG have now brought their successful solo lanes together with the tri-lane to give it more room and really develop out all the heroes. At this point, Chen's worth more in terms of net worth than the highest net worth player on Royal. And Royal, I feel that they've gotten nervous and they've let the game run away from them.
Whoa, Dragon Tail, Burrow Strike, bit stacked here. Split Earth comes out as well. Ferrari might actually go down this time. Rubik goes first. Ferrari is out of his stun, tries to eat himself up. Oh my god, that Alchemist stun was insane. Double kill going the way of Chuan's Chen. 3 dead. Rubik still ends up going down. Hand of God keeps the rest of IG up as they go for the rest, I should say. They went for the Shadow Demon, but Windrunner in the meantime. YYF picking up Yim, and that's a team wipe. IG, tier 2 tower. I mean, that stun from Zoe was just amazing.
I mean, keep in mind that was also a fantastic shackle shot setting that up. Two of those heroes were guaranteed to get hit. That was just excellent team coordination from IG, and they've just dominated Royal more in every single fight. Like, the first few fights, Royal looked pretty good. Then they looked okay, but Sand King was carrying them, and now nothing looks good. Now IG are just wiping the floor with them consistently, even when they get a slightly more favorable initiation.
Yeah, and IG goes for the Roshan next. I think high ground is not far around the corner. Look at that net worth charge. It is just sad to see for Royal, who had such an okay early game, who got the first blood. But now, I mean, the net worth of the Chen, he just got a double kill though. Chuan is of course very rich and the towers definitely help out a lot. But he is over 1k ahead on the highest farmer of Royal.
I love this blink from YYF as well, just lets you set up those nearly perfect shackles. He has gone the arcane boots for sustainability and push and just spamming out abilities, rather than going for the phase boots that you sometimes see on Windrunner that give you the speed to create good shackle positions. But Blink lets you micromanage your shackles. It's a really excellent item if you have, 2,150 gold lying around to put it on top of your force staff. And we've already seen how a good shackle can combine with Unstable Concoction.
Yeah, Royal stuck inside their base waiting for the next move that IG makes. They are kind of forced into this passive position. They might be wanting to try a smoke hack at some point, but until then, I mean, they can't really go out of their base and hoping that they would stay alive. They're just waiting and wishing that it goes away. You just think the pain is not there. It won't be.
I think we're going to see IG go high ground when Zo finishes his Cuirass. So he's almost there. About 2 waves of creeps will get it for him. I think he's almost certainly going to buy out for it because he's got the Aegis of the Immortal sitting for another 5 minutes. And with that, Lifestealer becomes very strong. Keep in mind, Assault Cuirass will reduce the armor of the towers as well, so they can very quickly clear the tier 3. The faster you're clearing that tier 3 in those buildings, the more pressure Royal are going to have to engage, and that's not an engagement that I necessarily think they can actually take. The YYF is carrying Lifestealer too, so another nice thing about this blink.
Yeah, and I think indeed Zo will have his item in just a moment. Courier is on its way. They're just preparing for the last push, I think, with that one. Shackle doesn't latch, blink forward, infest out, Hansi in some trouble. There he goes. Queen of Pain, Yim coming in. Ferrari wants to take him down. Bash, hit, power shot with the last hit. 2 kills on the board. And that's gonna be 3. That's gonna be 4. Brilliant. Shackle and 5, I think, as well. No hope. Team wipe. And that's the GG. That is IG taking another match in, of course, the Red Bull Esports Champions League.
Yes, not in any way a criticizable GG from Royal. There's no way you get back into the game at this point from this position. IG imminently high grounding you, taking the tier 3. They can actually probably just push for the GG and ignore you as you respawn and feebly attempt to swat them away. A very commanding performance from IG, correctly sort of responding with a great poise to an aggressive Trillian that sought to completely lock the Alchemist out of the game, and leveraging their superior individual skill of the solo lanes in exactly the correct fashion.
So Goliath does end up crushing Royal quite hard, actually, indeed. I did like what Royal's ideas were about the stuns, the disables, the lanes, but it just didn't go the way they wanted to. Too much control coming off IG, too much experience perhaps as well, of course, coming into play. But we are going to be jumping ourselves to the next match of this group stage, and we will see Orange taking on VC Gaming. So that's going to be our next matchup of today. That's going to be our halftime game, or at least halftime game. It's going to be the 5th game of today, and we have 10 games in total. Basically that. So Orange...
We're doing a lot better.
Yeah, in terms of time, it's amazing. We might actually be done at 3 p.m. and I might actually sleep in the afternoon.
Hey, don't jinx it, please.
I knocked on wood. You're welcome. But yeah, we are going to be having ourselves the next game. So stick around for more Dota 2 action. Of course, this is a Beyond the Summit presentation, but brought to you by Vikermont, my co-caster, and myself, who is Shiver, that's me. And you can all follow us on Twitter, at Vikermont for Vikermont, and at Shiver Gaming for myself, and I will post them in the chat in a moment as well. But yeah, let's jump ourselves to the next game. Stick around.